What if the emptiest possible space is never actually empty? Scientists have found that so-called nothing, a total vacuum with no atoms, no light, no matter, is still boiling with activity. Tiny particles pop into existence out of pure emptiness and vanish again in less time than you can blink. This isn't science fiction. It's measured, tested, and repeated in labs. It means the old idea of nothing as a flat, silent void is wrong. Nothing is unstable. Nothing wants to become something. This single fact quietly destroys the ancient assumption that you need a before in order to get a start, because emptiness itself seems incapable of staying empty for long. Think about what that means. If a true vacuum cannot hold still, cannot remain perfectly nothing, then a universe popping into being isn't some magical exception to the rules. It might be the most natural consequence of the rules. The shocking part is this. Physicists aren't asking how did something come from nothing as an impossible riddle anymore. They're asking, given what nothing actually does, how could a universe not eventually appear? That flips the entire question on its head, and it's the first thread that needs pulling before anyone can talk seriously about why there's a universe here at all. What if the real ruler of existence isn't a being at all, but a set of rules that simply cannot be broken? Every particle in every corner of the cosmos obeys the same handful of laws. Gravity pulls the same way on a distant star as it does on a dropped apple. Nobody enforces this. There's no cosmic police officer checking that electrons behave, and yet they always do, everywhere, every time, with zero exceptions ever recorded. That consistency is strange enough to stop a thoughtful person in their tracks. It raises an unsettling possibility. Maybe the laws of physics aren't descriptions of something else that's really in charge. Maybe the laws themselves are the closest thing to a foundation that exists. Not a ruler who wrote the rule book, but the rule book, existing on its own, needing no author, the way the number 7 doesn't need anyone's permission to be prime. If that's true, then asking why do the laws exist might be exactly as unanswerable as asking why does mathematics exist. Some things may simply be without needing a deeper why behind them, and learning to sit with that, instead of demanding an explanation the universe was never going to give, might be the most mature move a curious mind can make. What if this universe is not the only draft, but simply the one draft that happened to work? Look at the numbers that govern everything, the strength of gravity, the mass of an electron, the exact rate of the early cosmic expansion. Nudge nearly any of them by a tiny fraction, and stars never form, atoms never bond, and life never gets a chance to ask any of these questions in the first place. That precision looks almost designed. But here's the shocking alternative. What if there isn't just one universe, but countless ones, each with its own random settings, most of them empty, dark, and lifeless, and we simply exist in the rare one where the numbers happen to line up? Nobody tuned the dial for us. We're not the point of the experiment. We're the lucky outcome of one roll among an unimaginable number of rolls. This idea, sometimes called a multiverse, isn't proven, and honest scientists say so plainly, but it changes the emotional weight of the question entirely. Instead of, why did the universe get built exactly right for us? The question becomes, of course we find ourselves somewhere it worked. We couldn't be anywhere else to ask the question. That's not a small shift. It's the difference between feeling chosen and feeling lucky, and both feelings deserve honest examination. What if the question, why does the universe exist, is not a scientific question at all, but a grammar trick disguised as one? Science is extraordinarily good at answering how stars burn, how galaxies form, how atoms bond. But why, in the way people usually mean it, ask for a purpose, a reason, an intention behind events. Nature has never once, in any experiment, in any measurement, shown evidence of intention. Rain doesn't fall to help crops grow. It falls because of pressure and temperature, and crops evolve to take advantage of it. The universe may work exactly the same way, not existing for a reason, but simply existing, and everything within it, including curious creatures asking why, arising afterward as a consequence, not a purpose. This is uncomfortable to hear because human beings are storytelling creatures. We want beginnings, middles, and reasons, but nature has never once been obligated to satisfy human storytelling instincts. The most rigorous thinkers eventually admit something startling. Maybe why was always the wrong tool for this particular job. Like trying to measure temperature with a ruler. It's not that the ruler is broken, it's just built for a different question entirely, and recognizing that mismatch is one of the hardest, most liberating lessons in the search for understanding. What if the strangest part of this whole story isn't the universe? It's that something inside the universe is capable of wondering about it at all. Out of billions of years of silent atoms, gas clouds, and burning stars, A tiny fraction of that matter eventually arranged itself into brains that ask questions, build telescopes, and stay up at night turning why over and over in the dark. That's not a small detail. It might be the whole point of the story, even if point isn't quite the right word. The universe didn't need to produce curiosity. Rocks don't wonder, stars don't ask. And yet here, in this improbable corner, matter turned around and looked at itself. Whether or not there's a grand reason behind existence, this fact remains undeniably true. The universe built something capable of studying the universe. Here's the thing nobody tells you when you're a kid staring up at the stars. Nothing, real actual nothing, does not sit still. Take away every atom, every photon, every scrap of matter from a patch of space, and you'd think you're left with silence. You're not. That emptiness fizzes and pops with particles flickering in and out faster than you can register them. I find that hilarious, honestly. We spent centuries assuming nothing was the simplest, calmest thing imaginable, and it turns out nothing is one of the most restless things we've ever measured. So right there, the whole premise of how do you get something from nothing starts to wobble, because nothing was never nothing to begin with. Now people want a cause, they want a match struck, a button pressed, a finger pointed at the exact moment it all began. But cause and effect, the way you and I use it every day, that's a habit built for throwing rocks and catching balls, not for the edge of existence itself. At the smaller scales, energy jitters around on its own, no permission needed, no trigger required. And if time itself starts at that same instant, then asking what happened before is like asking what's colder than absolute zero. It sounds like English. It even feels like a real question when you say it out loud. But it might not be pointing at anything real at all. Then there are the rules. Gravity here behaves exactly like gravity a billion light years away. Every single time, no exceptions, nobody enforcing it. And I used to think that meant somebody must be running the show. But maybe it's simpler and stranger than that. Maybe the rules aren't evidence of a ruler. Maybe the rules are just what's there, the way 7 is prime, whether or not anybody's counting. You don't need an author for that. You just need it to be true. And look, maybe this is the only universe there's ever been, tuned just right by pure luck. Or maybe, and this one keeps me up at night in the best way, there have been countless attempts, countless versions, most of them dark, empty, hopeless, atoms never even managing to become a single star. And we just happened to be sitting inside the rare one that worked well enough to ask about itself. Nobody chose us. We're not the point of some grand plan. We're the lucky roll. And honestly, lucky is plenty. Lucky is enough to build a life on. Here's what I really think, though. I think most people ask, why does the universe exist, expecting a purpose, a reason, some cosmic motive behind it all, the way you'd ask why someone built a house. But nature has never once shown its hand as having a motive. Rain doesn't fall to help the crops. It falls because pressure drops and temperature shifts, and crops simply learn to catch it. Maybe the universe is exactly like that, not existing for a reason. Just existing, full stop, and everything inside it, including you, including this exact thought you're having right now, showing up afterward as a consequence, not a purpose. And maybe that sounds cold, I don't think it is. Because somewhere in 13 billion years of dust and gas and dying stars, some of that matter arranged itself into something that could turn around and wonder about all of it. Rocks don't do that. Stars don't do that. And yet here we are, doing exactly that right now in this very moment. That's not nothing. That might honestly be the most remarkable thing that's ever happened in the whole history of everything. Matter waking up enough to ask why it exists at all. So maybe the universe doesn't owe us a reason. Maybe it never did. But it gave us the ability to ask, and stand here wondering, and stay curious enough to keep looking anyway. And if you ask me, that's a pretty good deal for a bunch of atoms that didn't have to end up this interesting. So where does that leave us? Not with an answer wrapped in a bow, but with something better. Permission to keep asking. The universe may not exist for a reason, but the fact that something inside it can stand back, look up and wonder why, is in itself the closest thing to a miracle that physics will ever hand you. Nothing was never truly nothing. Cause and effect may not stretch all the way back to the beginning. The laws may need no lawgiver. This may be one lucky roll among countless silent, empty ones. And the real why question might have been the wrong shape from the start. None of that shrinks the wonder, it multiplies it. You don't need a final answer to keep looking up at the sky with your mouth slightly open. Curiosity was never about reaching the end of the mystery. It was always about refusing to stop asking, right up until the last question you ever get to ask. What if I told you that nothing has never actually existed? Not for one single second, not anywhere, not ever. Right now, In the emptiest patch of space you could possibly find, billions of light years from any star, something is happening. Particles are flickering into existence out of pure emptiness and vanishing again, faster than your eyes could ever catch them. Nothing refuses to stay nothing. And if that's true, then maybe the universe was never some impossible miracle that needed a spark, a start, or a first push from outside. Maybe it was the only thing that could ever have happened. No creator required. No trigger needed. Just the rules of existence doing what they've always done. Quietly, patiently, for billions of years, until one tiny corner of all that dust and gas woke up enough to ask why. That corner is you, right now, watching this. In the next 60 seconds, everything you think you know about why anything exists at all is about to change. Don't look away. This is the one question every human being has asked, and almost nobody has actually understood. Stay with me till the end, because the answer is stranger, simpler, and far more beautiful than anything you were ever taught to believe. The universe started absurdly organized, and nobody knows why.